I've had a pretty interesting career. I've had a lot of different experiences, even starting with, as you mentioned, when I was at college, I got to be an intern in the White House and actually work in the West Wing at the executive office building during my junior year. It was quite an amazing experience. In terms of my professional career, I started off like any other lawyer. It doesn't mean it's common. It's just the typical career path. I went to law school and I started with a couple of law firms and worked in several different practice areas. And then I had the opportunity about 7 or 8 years into my career to go work for a company in-house and then work for the company. I'm currently at a company called Innophos, which we could talk a little bit more about later. But during those career, and even as you mentioned, at Innophos, I've gotten to work on a broad range of topics and a broad range of skills, and I am so much better for it. I started off as a typical labor and employment attorney. I switched to do corporate securities, and then I went in-house and worked for two really great companies and then got to work with HR and facilities. I've learned a whole bunch of stuff that I never thought I would learn when I started law school. I never thought I'd even get the opportunity to do this, and it's been really fascinating.
And right before we started recording, I asked, is there anybody else like you? Is there anybody that's executive level, chief, C-suite level, legal and HR? And you said that you found a few online, but not a lot.
Yeah, I found a few online. I think one of the things I've found is that typically the general counsel's office will sometimes get involved with HR, even temporarily supervise it, but it always, HR becomes a separate function. I have really enjoyed my experience with it and actually was able to make it a permanent part of my repertoire as an executive, and it has made me the better for it. I think my company's the better for it. I think the people who work for me are better for it. I haven't seen a fair amount of executives, very few at all, who have done it as long as I'm doing this now for 7 years. It's been just a really fascinating and wonderful.